Previously on OATHSWORN.
The Legion is fighting this retreating battle all the way across the continent.
Grimdark doesn't punish hope, it punishes naivety.
This is the sort of scale of future that we're most concerned with. Like, we just want to survive this.
The sky is a corpse of a god.
Once someone is a never or the never or doing the things that the never do, they stop talking or answering your questions. Like,
points of dark fall out of the sky and a star is formed, and every time that happens, another never is born.
So, once we've established our place, couldn't preview file, there is a problem loading the page. Well,
Man, that's some of the most beautiful, like, tabletop text I've ever heard.
it's really just like deeply moving.
Everest really knocked it out of the park.
Way to go. Main gameplay. During our 4 cycles of gameplay, players draw cards from the numerical pile. Each type of card is associated with a set of questions which are answered in order. For example, the first time a player draws an ace of any suit, they would answer the first question listed under the aces, which is, what are the plants like at this place? The rocks, the soil. Second time an ace is drawn, the player would answer the second question, and so forth. Read the question out loud, narrate your answer to the group, and then discard discard the card in the discard pile. The group may ask follow-up or clarifying questions, but it may not contradict what you have expressly said. The player may also discard the card before addressing the question and instead enter a focused situation, choosing to tell a story, throw a party, discover something, see an omen, leave the frame, or move on, skipping this turn. These focus situations allow us to skip certain questions, instead spending more time on a single moment. Choosing to enter a focus situation still counts as the nth instance of the card. You may enter the same focus situation multiple times. Specific rules of these situations are detailed in a later section. If the card drawn is a 10, the cycle ends, moving us forward in time, etc., etc. Okay.
So that's kind of like a free play if we want it. Like if we aren't inspired by the card, we can just throw it away and answer one of those prompts instead. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And if we want to do that, we can take a look at the rules if and when that comes up.
Okay, cool. I like that.
Matthew, do you want to draw the first card?
Yeah, I got the first 5. I was going to say, wouldn't it be funny if I got the first 10, but then I decided not to say it because then it would probably be the first 10.
Well, you've got a whopper of a 5 in some ways.
I'm sorry, Devin. What are the stars like in our place? The sky, the weather. I think this is going to be have to be a little bit of a collabo between Devin and I. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we got our first 5. What are the stars, the skies, the weather? So I like everything, Devin, that you said. I like the idea of there being more and more stars, and there being like rumors about, as there are more stars, what's actually happening is there's like the body of the dead god is being like poked through, and we're seeing the light on the other side, whatever the hell that is.
Exactly.
Is anybody like a foolishly deep into Elder Scrolls lore here besides me?
No.
I don't think I'm that deep, no.
Well, when you get to my level, no. So the star, so, this is the Skyrims, your Oblivions, what have you. And the sun of Skyrim is not a sun. It is a hole, and it is a hole through which you can see the plane of the gods. And so I'm very into a vibe like that, not exactly that. I don't think that what we're seeing is, well, I think that people think it's different things is what we're seeing.
One thought that I had is how in this world, like in Earth and humanity, sometimes you go out camping and you just look at the stars and you're like, wow, I freaking love this. This is beautiful. I love the stars. What if in this world it was the opposite? What if like more and more stars was like a sense of dread, and like looking at a starry night sky was like a bad experience and not a cool, like existential uplifting experience?
Yeah, I think you want it to be a cloudy night. I do think there are clouds just because I want there to be rain, just so that we can have like, you know, a rainy battle and then a muddy field and stuff. I think those are fun touchstones. So I do think there are clouds, and I think you're right, Devin. I think you do want it to be like most people. There's some real freakzos out there who love the stars, but most people want it to be like a cloudy night or a cloudy day, so you don't have to see
those fucking star perverts.
Yeah,
star perverts.
Starverts.
Me looking out the window at all the stars. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That's something to draw on the map. An observatory of some sort?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
If where the star perverts live. Somebody else can handle that. I don't want to touch the star perverts.
Okay.
Yeah, astronomers are not seen in a good light.
Yeah.
I suggested it. It will be my burden.
All right. But yeah. So I think that like there's this notion that the stars are actually punctures or holes through the body of the corpse of the god, but no one can agree what's on the other side.
And many find it to be possibly dreadful.
Oh yeah, and most don't like it.
Yeah,
like I'm fine just establishing that most don't like it. Don't like to look at it. Like, you know, there's a reason in this world why looking at the sun for too long hurts, and it's not that it's bright and it hurts your eyes. There's a different reason, a bone deep reason that looking at the sun is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like that star in the sky, that's the one that appeared right after my partner left me and turned into a shadow drone. So fuck that star.
A shadow drone, dang. Oh, hold on. Wait, hold on. I think I wanted to ask you, Brendan. We're in weeks. We're in weeks now.
That's right. We are in weeks.
Yes.
I wanted to ask what these weeks are. Are these the weeks right after the big defeat? After the breaking? Whatever that is?
I think it's just like a plus or minus weeks from where we're starting our story.
Right, but Brendan gets to pick the start. That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Let's call this a week before the great confrontation that is going to kick off the events.
Okay.
Are we not into the like 10 years thing from the original setting, or
we're at the very tail end of that?
Okay, cool. That's what I was saying.
Where we play is going to be different than where we start.
Right.
Dig it.
Okay, so then in that case, I think specifically to talk about this weather is I think that all week prior to the great confrontation, I think it rains the whole time. And this is viewed as a good sign because it's it's clouds the whole time.
Right. None of those stars.
Exactly. Cloudy the whole time, viewed as a good omen. Just trying to get maximum dramatic irony in there.
Absolutely.
All my homies hate the stars.
Okay, yeah, that's my turn.
Okay, I'll draw the next one. The 10 of diamonds, our first 10. Amazing.
That was bad.
Well,
You were so close, Matthew.
Well, we know what happens after that week, so...
Yeah, so when you draw 10, you may pick freely from the following questions, but do not pick the same one twice. It's real easy to be like, there's a great loss, one that sets new burdens on the inhabitants of our place.
Yep.
How do they cope? And one that they lost forever.
Yep.
that seems correct.
Okay. The armies ride out for battle. They are led by the chosen of the gods. They are protected from the stars by the rain. They fight with courage and bravery. They are slaughtered. The armies are crushed. They shatter against the forces of the Never, and nearly all of the chosen are broken.
Fantastic.
After answering this question, you'll roll the die and move in time, and then collectively decide: do our characters' civilizations still live here? If not, who lives there now? Does anyone? What does the place physically look like now? Has anything visually changed? How does it smell now? How does it feel here? Does this place still use the same name? If not, what is it called now? And who calls it that? So I'm going to roll a die, and we're going to move that many weeks either backwards or forwards in time. 5.
It might be interesting to go 5 weeks back in time to think about the preparations for this.
I think so too. Yeah, let's do that.
I had a thought. I don't know if this is too grim or not, but like, what if like the people that went out that day were like some of the best, like the heroes of this place?
Absolutely.
That's explicit in the
100%.
rules, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was the chosen who are now broken
Yeah.
that went out.
Okay. I thought we were in the 10 years after the big fight, and this is like a new fight.
So in the timeline, there are 2 big fights. There's the big fight where the first broken were made, and then 10 years later, they rallied for another big fight where they had a lot more chosen or a lot fewer. I'm not sure. And then more broken were made.
Gotcha.
And now you're just running.
So we're focusing on that current conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the end of the second conflict, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
Or the preparations before the beginning of the second conflict. Now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
we're like a month and a half out from everybody's last ditch effort to like take out the Never.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like the heroes, the best of the nations, but it's kind of also like these are the heroes that are still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are like the protagonists of another story.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
We've got the ends from Riverwood.
I was thinking about this actually. We reference Final Fantasy VI a fair bit in like touchstones and stuff like this. Like the Chosen are almost like, what if the Final Fantasy protagonists? They're the heroes, right? And then half of them, and then half of them die.
Yeah, one of them can suplex a train, so he must be a god of some sort.
Now our enemies can suplex a train.
Exactly.
Oh no.
They will use all of our trains against us.
All right, I'm going to draw a train on... No.
Oh, no.
Devin, you want to draw a card?
Okay. All right, 5 of clubs.
Second 5.
Where is that?
Yeah.
Dang.
Second 5. All right. What secrets are kept in our place? Why are they kept? By who and from whom?
And this is during the prep period.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about how there's like this church of foresight that has these like logs of how history should go. So saith the gods. And we've been trying our best to take these vague words from these dead gods and help them guide us, make them be our breadcrumbs into a future where we've all been, saved from this conflict. But many people saw this as like, this is our moment. But there were priests of this Church of Foresight that knew that this fight was doomed because it was foretold to be doomed. And they weren't, I don't know if they purposefully kept it secret, but I don't think they had the clout and influence amongst all of these people that were, rallying and preparing and really believing that this was going to be the moment. And I don't think they were able to get through to the people. Or they chose not to. I'm not sure. What do y'all think?
I think they weren't allowed to because the battle had to happen and they had to lose because that's what was foresawn.
Oh, that's brutal. So there's just like a few priests just sitting in this tower with all of their lore, just like opening a bottle of wine and just in sorrow as they know what's going to happen.
God, I love that we already have tide fascists in our story.
We should get a name for this church.
Yeah.
At some point. It doesn't have to be now. It doesn't have to be you, Devin, but we should get a name for them.
We should draw their church somewhere on the map.
I wonder if there's like a prepper energy to this church. Like, is the church built into like a mountain, and is it like built all underground with like lots of lots of vaults?
Do you know the Norwegian seed vault?
Yes, I do. Uh-huh.
Yeah. That not only looks amazing, but it's absolutely that same vibe.
How do we feel about the Eyes of Smoke?
Ooh.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And I'm just going to draw their symbol.
Yeah, that sounds great.
It's an eye with like a black cloud for a pupil.
Oh, they're over there.
Oh, isn't that where we're starting?
Yeah, that's where the battle's taking place.
Yeah, so they have like some sort of temple here in the city, maybe.
So, but that would mean we didn't get to visit. And I was hoping it would be further to the east so that we could visit it.
You can put them there if you want, but that means they will be destroyed.
Yeah, they're gone already, which is fine.
Well,
that's fun.
So we said that some of the religions were based off of Chosen, but this is like a religion that's based off of the future. So maybe this is a place that is in, or this is a order that is in multiple places.
Yeah, this is just their main temple.
Yeah, I wonder if they also if they have any use for the as labeled Star Perverts Observatory.
Yeah, maybe
they're probably associated.
Yeah, it's very possible.
Yeah.
Or then again, I think particularly running off of that prepper energy thing, I think that if there was ever a group that was going to have secret vaults, it would probably be the Eye of Smoke.
Hello, dungeons. I love it.
So yeah, it kind of doesn't matter where their quote unquote like headquarters is because we could reasonably find them in all kinds of places.
Oh, and those dungeons would totally have traps that make narrative sense because of course they would put traps in because you're supposed to try and fight your way into the secret vault.
Yeah.
It's not for them to easily retrieve their stuff. It's for God.
Your intrusion is foretold.
Yeah, exactly.
They probably keep the lore really tight to their chest too because of like worries about how it would influence the timeline.
Yeah, I really like the idea that they've like, I mean, this is fun because this gives Brendan ammo. Or not even ammo, the inverse of ammo. Brendan can just be like, oh yeah, like there's rumors that there's a Eyes of Smoke, like hot drop in this region. If you can find that, it will be necessary. Whatever you find will be necessary going forward.
Yeah.
That's very fun.
I love that.
I have this image of these like scientist magician type characters that are almost like iterant preachers, but they have like books like strapped to their bodies almost in the same way that you would have a multitude of supply packs of like food and stuff like that, where like they have a bunch of information that they want to have on hand at all times.
A bandolier of books.
Something like that, yeah.
That's so wild because if you think about it, like if all of time has already been written, that's hella books.
Well, they probably don't always agree on what it is that's written, right?
Yeah, and which ones are canon?
Yeah.
They're only allowed to take out exactly what they need and nothing more.
Yeah, you might have people who like specialize, like, oh, I do decades. Or like, oh, I'm the person who's like really into like this 1 year that's coming in 23 years from now.
Yeah.
And you have to, whenever you want to borrow something, you have to volunteer to duplicate an existing text before you get to take it out.
Yeah.
Nice.
Big illuminated manuscript energy. Love it.
Sweet. So we got star perverts and time perverts.
All right.
Time cops. Let's be real.
They are time cops, yeah.
We have all kinds of different kinds of guys in this world.
All right. Well, let's get some gals,
Yeah.
Let's be a little egalitarian.
All right, my turn. Let's see if I can add some gals here. If I can draw a card correctly.
Oh my God.
Wow.
You shuffled these.
We're going to be done tonight.
We got a 10.
Shit.
We got the 10 of clubs.
Second 10.
Yep.
What happened 6 weeks ago? There's some really good ones here.
Well, does this have to be necessarily 6 weeks ago? This could be like, or one week after the conflict as well, right?
Well, no, because we rolled the die and we said this happens 5 weeks previous.
Oh,
so this is something that happened then.
So once you choose a direction in time, you have to continue in that direction of time?
No. We're not doing the jump yet. This is Gavin is picking from the list under where it says tens.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we roll and jump.
Gotcha.
The gardens are planted, the work has been done, and now we wait. What was planted and what are we waiting for? The time cops sabotaged the battle here.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, shit.
They were going around saying that this battle was going to be a guaranteed victory, that all of the chosen should come in and do their thing, put it forth all of their might, that we need to muster every person able to work towards the war effort. and put all of our resources into this battle.
They engineered it so it'd be the biggest catastrophe it could be.
It's like a sacrifice to fate.
Yeah, so they had everybody put all of their effort into this one last fight, knowing and actually working towards its doom. Maybe they sabotaged supply lines at the last minute. Maybe they had people breaking bayonets. I don't know.
I also really like if maybe this is a certain sect of the Eyes of Smoke that did this. Like they're like we said, they don't necessarily agree on like what the true lore actually means is going to happen. But there was some people that were convinced that this needed to be the biggest bloodbath ever and worked to make that happen. Because like otherwise, like people would lose complete trust in these.
I mean,
folks
they don't know, right?
Them.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll know after.
Oh, yeah, they know after.
Will they? Well, it's a medieval time period, so like news travels very slowly.
Mm-hmm. and most of the people that would know are now dead.
Yeah, and what I wouldn't want it to be is like, oh yeah, those were the bad time cops. Most time cops are your friends. Like,
no,
I think the time cops should always be a little bit like, are they going to fuck with you or are they going to help you? Like, inscrutable is the word, I think.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Yeah,
like, I know enough about this group's. Like, we already established them as kind of like a smaller fringe group anyway. Mm-hmm. It feels like even just independently in and of themselves, it seems interesting to paint them in that way of like, and we're going to make sure that this goes according to plan. Even if it means the destruction of all these people without having to introduce a schism.
Yeah. One thing though, if we have a lore keeper when we play Band of Blades, I don't want the lore keeper to be Eyes of Smoke.
Sure.
Okay. So that like there are other archivists. They're not the only archivists in the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. I think we're going to see them on screen in some way, but they do not in any way have to be integral or even allied with our group.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
I do also want to say that like time cops as a trope, no matter what version they are are always, even if the book is aligned with them, even if the author is believes that they are good, they are always in my mind terrible, horrible human beings. Like institutionally, because this idea that the world is already predetermined by this specific line, and that's why these horrible atrocities have to happen, even though we have time powers to stop it, is fundamentally evil.
Yeah,
in my mind,
I agree.
So,
I am one of the things that interests me about Band of Blades to begin with is that the forces of evil kind of represent a form of determinism, in that they seem utterly unstoppable and overwhelming and inevitable in that way. And it's by virtue of hard work and pluck and resourcefulness that we're able to live to fight another day. Sorry, Matthew, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say that I like Gavin, this general, like this big battle had to be engineered just because it's one of the fantasy tropes that maybe annoys me the most is the notion that there's like, the one battle and then it's done, right? Mm-hmm. Like a war isn't one big battle. A war is many, many small battles and it takes a long time. So the idea that in universe, people were, oh no, guys, don't worry. This is the one. We promise. We know. I think is really good.
Yeah.
I think that there's something to be said for simply saying, hey, we need to get all of our heroes and all of our power in one place. And that will be the final battle to defeat and vanquish evil forever. And that is probably enough in the face of whatever our analog of the Cinder King is. I don't feel like we necessarily have to break muskets or anything like that.
No.
The entire point is that like we did that and that still wasn't enough. And I think like sabotaging our own forces in the face of that kind of makes whatever our Cinder King is a little bit toothless, because then there's the implication of like, oh, we could have beaten him if not for these time cops.
I'm sure some people are thinking that anyway, but yeah, I get your point.
I want to be clear. I'm saying that as the author looking at the metafiction, not like, I'm sure there's a lot of different takes and a lot of different interpretations, particularly from the survivors that we'll probably see on screen.
And I think this is also what I meant by materialism, where like, if something happens in this world, it's because someone or someone's made it happen.
Yeah, Absolutely.
It is not an accident anywhere, ever. Or a coincidence. Like, somebody is deliberately making it happen this way, materially.
Yeah.
Anyway, do our characters' civilizations still live here? If not, who lives here now? I think they do. Mm-hmm. What does the place physically look like now? Has anything visually changed? How does it smell? I think there's a lot of, like, industry, like body sweat and smoke. Mm-hmm. Horse manure, fresh trench dug dirt, that sort of thing.
Do we have horses, or are horses different?
I mean, horses are pretty fucking eldritch as is.
Yes.
Horses are fairly weird.
Consider the horse.
I try not to. They scare me.
Yeah, it couldn't be me.
Gavin, do you want to roll a 1d6? We'll decide whether or not we're going forward or backward.
So 3.
So either 3 weeks before the battle or 3 weeks earlier. Or we can say, no, we don't like that. We want to jump somewhere else because we create our own destiny.
I thought we went 5 weeks before the battle. So then is that the new point in time that we're going to go plus or minus 3 weeks in?
That's the way the rules are written.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kris, do you have a feeling? You're going to draw the next card.
So 3 weeks would put us either 8 weeks before, so like 2 months before, or 2 weeks before.
Both are good.
Both are good. I think I tend towards 2 weeks before, because if the Church of Time Bastards has been going around and saying, like, it's gonna be great, you're gonna crush it, everybody, like, good job, then I kind of want to look at what that optimism that people get is, like if like Gavin said, Grimdark is about punishing naivete, I want to see that people would believe, like, yeah, if we do get all our strongest hitters in one place, we got it. And then just see them really, like, amping up towards that, and the optimism, at least in that direction. I'm trending that way.
Cool.
Into it.
I like it.
Hell yeah.
My only other thing here was we're halfway through this game already, which is wild. One thing we might consider is maybe not this round, but maybe next round, regardless of what the die say, is we jump to, like, the period just after this terrible defeat. Just to sketch that out a little bit, since that's closer to where we'll be starting.
Maybe, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm happy to start here now. Just I wanted to forewarn that that's where my head is at for, like, the last 10 period.
Sure. I'm good with whatever. I think I've got a good grasp.
Okay. Kris, you want to draw?
Yeah. More. The 3.
Our first 3.
Congratulations.
It's a 3. 3s. First 3. What do people listen to and perform here? What is considered the folk art? Oh boy.
Please define all of this culture and do it now.
And if I'm going to write songs for this culture later on, you better pick some good stuff.
Yeah, make it
Sorry.
good.
Yeah, do it right.
Make sure you pick a good answer.
I fully trust you,
I want to
Kris.
hear.
Don't ignore me.
I was saying I was going to go and find that hardcore dance battle again.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Everybody's just moshing 2 weeks before the big battle.
Yeah.
It's combined, dancing and also battle training. It's fine.
Oh, yeah.
It's
I
calisthenics.
see it.
The dance of the chosen. So beautiful.
Actually, that line about the chosen is maybe like a good place to, like, focus in. Is this like maybe like one last feast before we muster or something like this? Like, if all the chosen have gathered in this place, is there some sort of revelry or something, or like a religious ceremony?
Yeah, I imagine there's got to be, like, everything, right? Because as much as people are pumped up, there is that thought of just, like, because it might be your last anything. Mm-hmm. So just trying to experience all of the things. Also, yeah, there's all these chosen, so it's just like, holy shit, like, who is ever around a chosen, and now we're around, like, 8? Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's like a con.
Oh my god. It's a convention. God.
Yeah.
Chosen con was lit.
So, like,
Crying parents marking their children with blood, like on a thumbprint or something on their face.
so yeah, there's like 9 of them at the high table. What is the music like that's playing?
Oh man. I mean, is it weird to... It's got to be kind of weird, but also there's just so many religions and churches and different groups devoted to these gods in different ways, and there's so many different stories that is it just like I'm almost picturing like a thing where just every group sends out their best storyteller, performer in whatever mode of art. It's almost like a talent show where they're just like, here's our version of the story, and it's just like seeing which ones the Chosen's like best.
Yeah.
America's Got Talent, and all of the Chosen are Simon Cowell now.
I mean, there's probably also like that fest sort of thing where there's like 8 different stages. Everyone wants to have the crowd, and so they're playing at the same time to try and get everyone. It's the extension of what we were saying before of like, this is the God and the Chosen that we should be devoted to. Only it's this microcosm of trying to put on the loudest, most beautiful performance in order to get everyone over to your stage instead of that bastard that's throwing Mummers Play trains across the stage.
There's probably also like a military section, so like just war horns and drums.
I believe that there is at least one synthesizer, and it is an artifact that is blessed by the gods.
Interesting.
Go for it.
Someone has a theremin. But yeah, I think it's just like all of everything. It's not like anybody. It's just like, oh yeah, we're all just playing. I don't remember what they're called. It's maybe a kalimba. Is that what they are? Yeah, kalimbas. It's like, okay, not everybody's playing a kalimba, but there's some in there. It's just whichever your group's thing is, that's what you're doing, because everybody is trying to prove like, nah, the Chosen like us the best. We're the biggest stands.
Matthew, you want to draw the next card?
Yo, it's my third five. I can only draw 5s.
I definitely shuffled these.
No, it's fine.
It's
Clearly.
just weird.
All right, let's see here. There is a union. Is it political, emotional, marital? No, martial. No, that's marital. What is newly aligned? Ooh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Is this the name of what we are?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think we were thinking of different things. Because we've already established it's weird, right? It's weird to get this many chosen in one place.
Absolutely.
This is highly unusual. This is a once in a lifetime feat. And I think that this army gets named, right?
Yeah.
And it's probably this is the festival. It's like the festival for the festival / ritual for the naming of this army. And I don't want it to have the word union in it, because that feels like too much U.S. Civil War for me, at least. I don't know. I might need a better. But if anybody has suggestions, feel free to throw them in. But I think it's the naming of this army or this force.
Is there something to do with like defense or being a stronghold or something like that?
The always.
That might be 2 on the
No, I think that's 2 on the nose. Yeah.
That's very cartoony.
Yeah.
That's very cartoony.
I kind of like it.
Yeah, same. I'm just like, I'm about that. Oh, it's too cartoony. It is. That might be why I like it, though.
Yeah, I want something that's less, this could have been on WB Kids.
Well, maybe since it's related to this music festival, maybe something with harmony.
Oh, harmony's pretty good. Maybe a play
or harmonic.
On that. I like harmonic.
Shadow harmonic.
I'm not sure about shadow harmonic. That starts feeling like that's the name of like an anime attack move.
What about the Concorde?
Ooh, the Flight of the Conchords.
Oh no!
Shit, right.
No. Yep.
I want like a descriptor, not just a noun.
No, I agree.
I don't want a Destiny name shit.
Yeah. It'd be great if we had, let's see, it'd be great if we had more names for places besides just the continent.
I like where harmony is like in terms of mouthfeel, but I would like something a little bit grittier.
Yeah, me too.
The one thing that came to my mind just in terms of like the music festival, the word harmony, and just like what Brendan was saying a lot about like just sheer force of will being the only thing that we have would be the harmonic will.
Yeah. I like it. I'm with Brendan on this. I like it, but I want a harsher sound. Gavin, I was going to ask, can you break down for me, like, this looks like 3 symbols in tel, shel, l. Does each of these have a meaning?
Yeah, those are the literal words for shadow of God.
Okay, so it's shadow of God, literally word for word.
Yeah. So cell means shadow, shell means of, and L is a abbreviation of Elohim.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe something with L, not necessarily just EL, but maybe like a word that has L in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also trying to think
can
of
look that up.
things that would, because this is all happening around the fact that they have all of these chosen around, that it's just like something about like these are the ones who like are with the chosen.
Yeah.
The chosen people. Something in that is interesting.
Granted, we can call, not to screw up our name absence even further, but we can call chosen and broken whatever we want.
Right. No. Yeah, you're totally right. What do we think about something that's like consonants over harmony? It's a synonym. And I think it fits better. Like, it's about an agreement. And I think what this is it's an agreement, right?
Covenant.
Covenant is pretty good.
Covenant is good.
Because I think...
What about consonant as an adjective? Like the consonant something.
Ooh, the consonant something is good.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's got the good mouthfeel. Mm-hmm. Consonant crew. Done. Print it. No. Let's pencil that. It doesn't have to be it. But
yeah.
I like that direction. And we can move on that way. Brendan, draw the last 10, I dare you.
All right. I'm sorry, I tried as hard as I could.
Oh, damn it, Brendan.
I got the first ace, which says, what are the plants like in our place? The rocks, the soil. I think instead of answering that, I am going to use one of the other actions, one of the focus situations, and I will leave the frame. Just for a second, the window widens and we are able to see a little bit more of our world. You may ask, what is the mountain like to the north of our house? Are there massing armies on the sea? What type of dogs do the neighbors have? Or anything else that you wish to know. You get one question and the table collectively answers. Then the world snaps back. And my question is, far to the west, as the forces of darkness approach, when the camera looks at the army at the very end, and the viewers know the same way that we as the authors know that this is the army that's going to win, what does that look like? I think that the way that these people that have been taken over by this cosmic infection, this worm in their ear that has robbed them of all sense of self, are still in a lot of ways shaped like people, but do not necessarily move the way that people move. That maybe tumble over themselves. Not cartoonishly, but repulsively. As if the very nature of their existence as a biped has just been conveniently forgotten. Some of them will step and trip and then hover for a second and then step and trip. Some of them drift like ghosts. Some of them slither like slime.
I think looking into their eyes is a similar experience to looking at a clear night sky.
Is it like the camera like focuses on one of their faces and you can see stars shining out from their eyes?
Yeah. Well, we talked about how like it's sort of a replacement of them and they're being replaced with the void of the heavens.
Yeah, awesome.
I think in addition to like individually, they're moving kind of weird. I think as a collective, part of what makes them so terrifying is that like all together moving, they move much faster than any one of them, like caterpillars.
I saw that video today too.
Yeah, I saw that earlier today, and I was just like, no, I don't care for that. And I feel like this is the same thing. It's on their own. It's like, oh no, that's not how people go. Cool. But altogether, it's just like a wall just advancing on you very quickly.
Have you all seen fire ants forming lifeboats?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Describe it for us.
So fire ants, come from typically parts of South America that flood frequently. And so what fire ants had learned to do is in water, they form living rafts where they get close enough to each other that the surface tension keeps the water away, and they're constantly moving. So they form these like constantly moving, constantly shifting, constantly like skittering around rafts, pools that move through the water so that they can survive floods. And I'm imagining that, but at human scale.
Yep.
At the heart of this roiling army is their leader, our Cinder King, the will that guides the Never, the force that seeks to engulf the world, the thing that will swallow Zel Sha'el whole, the power that can break the chosen and bend them to its will. It is not a thing that you can kill with a sword. It is not a foe that anyone can stand against. The Consonant Legion, or what is left of it, will flee, desperate to survive. But just this once, we get to see it, to know the shape of the thing. What does it look like?
The leader of this thing is the tongue.
The tongue of the dead god?
It's what if a tongue was a whole person shape?
Oh no. What?
I guess that's a starfish.
I mean, starfish are very eldritch as well.
Yeah, well,
Growing back.
Also,
gesturing
starfish,
towards
stars.
and it is the loudest of all because it was the voice. Tongue of the dead god dripped and fell and
That's
gave
horrible.
voice to the never,
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's great.
or so they say.
Yeah, or so they say. Oathsworn is an actual play podcast created by
Devin Nelson.
Gavin Fregeau.
Kris Allison.
Matthew Guzdial.
and me, Brendan McLeod. All music for the show is created by Devin Nelson. Find it and more at devindecibel.bandcamp.com. Find a link to their music and any of the games that we played in the podcast description. Follow us at OathSworn Pod on Twitter or OathSworn on co-host. Until next time.